Introducing YouTube memberships, a fun way to support the channel while getting some exclusive perks. Click the join button to become a member now and get benefits like badges next to your name on videos, behind-the-scenes photos, advantages during the live trivia game, discounts on merchandise, private one-on-one video chats, the ability to request future video topics, and exclusive 8 to 10 minute videos on the history of the NFL. And now, on with our feature presentation. November 12th, 2023. It's week 10 of the NFL season, and we've got an absolutely big game on our hands over at SoFi Stadium between the Detroit Lions and the Los Angeles Chargers. Now for the Chargers, the main subject of our story, this is an absolutely monumental game for them. The AFC is a dogfight right now, and they find themselves at 4-4 with a disappointing .500 record, although they have won 4 of their last 6. Win this game against the Lions, and you go to 5-4, putting yourself right in the thick of things. Lose this game, however, and with how jam-packed the conference is, not only would you be 2 back of a playoff spot, but you really wouldn't be giving yourself any room for error, especially with games against Baltimore, Buffalo, and Kansas City coming up, just to name a few. And what we got was an insanely high-scoring affair where defense was like extra credit. Completely optional. Because despite trailing 24-10 at one point in the contest, with 3 minutes left, the Chargers found themselves all tied up with the Lions at 38 apiece. The bad news for the Chargers is that the Lions are getting the ball back after having scored on 4 of their last 5 legitimate, non-end-of-the-half drives. The good news, though, is that if you do get a stop and manage the clock properly, you'll be able to get this ball back with time to do something and answer whatever they do, whether that's a field goal or a touchdown. First down at the 25-yard line, and oh my god, are you kidding me, Chargers? A 41-yard pass on the very first play? Where was the defense we saw last week against the Jets? Yes, I know it was the Jets, but come on! That's embarrassing! Alright, first down at the 34-yard line. The Lions are already in field goal range, so at this point, knowing that they, in all likelihood, are going to score barring anything crazy, you need to start thinking about timeouts so that you can get the ball back and have time to answer. Again, you've got 2, so you can definitely get a stop by using these 2 before the 2-minute warning, and then get out of this with plenty of time. First down, and alright, a defensive play! What do you know? The Chargers get a stop, as David Montgomery gets stuffed for a loss of 1. That brings up 2nd and 11, as the Chargers take their timeout. I said 2nd and 11, as the Chargers take their timeout. 2nd and 11, as the Chargers take their time. Oh, come on, why is the clock still running? Are you serious right now, Brandon Staley? Are you serious? Why are you not taking a timeout? Why are you not calling a timeout? Brandon Staley, why are you not calling a timeout? Well, good job. You just let 40 seconds run off the clock and let the Lions take it all the way down to the 2-minute warning, which is very bad for obvious reasons. I'm sure this awful clock management won't come back to bite you in any way whatsoever, right?
Derwin James is right in the middle. From 41 yards, the kick is good!
Welcome to Dumb Decisions. Before I break down what happened here, this whole series is about taking an in-depth look at decisions made during games that were clearly awful from the start. This isn't something that looked bad in hindsight. Rather, this is something that looked awful almost immediately. These are moves where your gut instinct tells you right away that there is no way this can possibly work. And sure enough, your gut instinct was smarter than that of an NFL head coach. And for this one, we're going to take a look at the mind of Los Angeles Chargers head coach Brandon Staley. He's got to have the hottest seat in America of any coach. Because holy cow, this Chargers team should not be as bad as they are. And yet, Brandon Staley has found a way. He's been on this show quite a few times before. Heck, he found his way on it not even a month ago for his horrible clock management at the end of the first half against the Kansas City Chiefs, which you can learn more about by clicking the card in the upper right corner. And somehow, he found a way to outdo himself with the timeout management yet again, because he absolutely bungled this and just gave this one to Detroit for no reason at all. So with that being said, let's take a look at why not calling a timeout with 2:40 left after the first and 10 run is a really bad idea. What's the goal here if you're the Chargers? Get the ball back. It's that simple. You want to be able to get the ball back so that your offense has a chance to win it in regulation, or at the very least, answer whatever Detroit is doing. And that means giving your defense as many opportunities to make a mistake as humanly possible. Which is what makes this situation all the more insane. I'll draw it up. Let's say you call a timeout with 2:40 left, like any coach with a brain would have done in this situation. Now, you've got one timeout in the 2-minute warning as extra timeouts to work with. Let's say that the Lions get a first down on the very next play. Alright, that stinks, but you still have a shot. Call a timeout after they get the first down. The first down play takes the clock to the 2-minute warning. The second down play takes 5 seconds, and then takes 40 more seconds off the clock. So take it down to 1:15. The third down play takes another 5 seconds, and then takes another 40 seconds off the clock. So you're having them kick the field goal with about 30 seconds left. Again, it's not ideal, but you at least have a shot to get the ball back. Compare that to the alternative of not calling a timeout, and instead, letting the clock run all the way down to the 2-minute warning for no reason. Now, under that same scenario, where the Lions get a first down on the very next play on 2nd and 11, they get the first down, and you're forced to burn your timeout right then and there at 1:55. Next play on first down, and the Lions take 5 seconds off the clock, forcing you to call your last timeout right then and there. Second down, and the play takes 5 seconds, plus 40 more seconds off the clock. So go from 1:50 on the clock to 1:05. Third down, and the play takes 5 seconds, plus 40 more seconds off the clock. So go from 1:05 to 20 seconds. Now, the Lions kick the field goal. You get it back with about 13 seconds left, and you have time to do absolutely nothing. You have time for one play, maybe 2 plays to get into field goal range, or a Hail Mary. Compare that to the other scenario, where you're getting the ball back with about 23 seconds left under the exact same sequence, and you actually have time to do stuff. You can go over the middle of the field if it's deep and spike the ball. You have 4 plays to get it close. Again, you want to give your defense as much room for error as possible, so that if they do allow a first down on a sequence like that, your offense has time to get the ball back and mount something. And I know this much, 23 seconds is a heck of a lot better than 13 seconds. You can work with 23 seconds and no timeouts to get 40 yards down the field. 13 seconds and no timeouts, where you might only have 1 play depending on how it goes? Not so much. Or let's take this scenario, which could happen here. Let's say I call the timeout with 2:40 left. On second down, the Lions don't get it, so you burn your third and final timeout. On third down, the Lions decide to throw for the first down, and they get it, but they get out of bounds, thereby stopping the clock. Now, you have the 2-minute warning to work with, so the first down play takes it to the 2-minute warning. The second down play, which is 5 seconds plus the 40-second play clock, takes it to 1:15. And the third down play, which is 5 seconds plus the 40-second play clock, takes it to 30 seconds, where the Lions kick the field goal, and you're getting it back with about 23 seconds left. Now, picture that exact same scenario, but you don't call the timeout, so the clock runs down to the 2-minute warning. On second down, the Lions don't get it, so you burn your second timeout at 1:55. On third down, the Lions decide to throw for the first down, and they get it, but they get out of bounds and stop the clock. That play takes it to 1:50. Now first down and the Lions run the ball, and you call a timeout with 1:45 left. The second down play takes 5 seconds plus the 40-second play clock, so that takes it down to 1 minute. The third down play takes 5 seconds plus the 40-second play clock, so that takes it down to 15 seconds. The Lions kick the field goal and give it back with 8 seconds left, which is time to try some lateral palooza play, but that's really about it. Again, in the first scenario, by being smart about when you call your timeout, you have 23 seconds left and time to run 4 legitimate plays to get into field goal range. In the second scenario, By being dumb and letting it run all the way down, you have 8 seconds left. Which gives you a better chance of winning? Having 23 seconds left when you get the ball back? Or 8 seconds? Like, come on! It's the bigger number! And you know that! And you don't pick the option that allows you to have that happen! And I don't want to hear anything about how the referees may have messed up the clock situation because the play clock was ahead of the game clock, and the Lions may have had to get a play out before the 2-minute warning. Not that it would have made any difference at all. Everyone knows that the play clock on TV is not entirely accurate. It's not really 40 seconds. It's 40 and a half. The referee never calls it right when it hits 0. There is about a half second of leeway that the offense gets, and that the offense always gets. Whether that's how it should be or not is an entirely different discussion, because something like that really should not be subjective. But that's the way the game is played, and it's way too close to even put that to chance. If you call the timeout right away, you at least have a shot under the right circumstances to get the ball back with time to mount something serious. If you don't call a timeout right away, you have no room for error, and under those same exact circumstances, have no time to do anything if you get the ball back. It is essentially a brain-dead understanding of how the clock works, how the 2-minute warning works, and how timeouts work, that I cannot wrap my head around why Brandon Staley thought this was a good idea, and better yet, how he has a job. We don't know what he was thinking in the post-game press conference about why he managed the timeouts like this, since no one asked him. Surprise, surprise. But this ultimately may have cost the Chargers the ball game, because I'm not sure the Lions go for a 4th down if a 1st down doesn't guarantee the fact that the game is over. The Lions' aggressiveness and ultimate victory was set up entirely by the fact that Brandon Staley, for what feels like the 700th time in his career as the Chargers head coach, has no idea whatsoever on how to manage a clock. And for anyone saying about these calculations that your standards are way too high for a head coach, and that it is so unfair to do this right now because you have the benefit of hindsight, and you can't really do that in real time, I should note that while I was watching the game between these two teams behind me right here, I calculated in real time why this was a bad idea. I went onto Twitter, at JaguarGator9NFL, I mapped out in about 280 characters why this was a bad idea, and how this cost them 20 seconds. And sure freaking enough, that's exactly what happened. How was Brandon Staley so bad at this? How is this man still employed? It makes no sense. He is a terrible head coach, and we saw yet again why he is a failure with the Chargers after this sequence right here. So what do we learn from all of this? If you have timeouts, then use them. If you have a chance to give your defense some room for error at a time when they desperately need it, then take that chance. As a head coach, you have to be thinking a few plays ahead all the time. And if you can't do that, then maybe this isn't the right profession for you. And if there's one option that gives you an actual chance on offense when you get the ball back, and another option that gives you no chance or requires a prayer and a half when you get the ball back, then take the first option. Take the freaking first option. It's not rocket science. The quicker you call a timeout, the quicker the other team has to call a play, which means the quicker you'll get the ball back versus the alternative. And somehow, Brandon Staley, in year 3 as a head coach, didn't realize what most people realized on their couch. Because when all of these elements are in play, you can't exactly be surprised when this play backfires. Talk about a dumb decision. Get your official Jaguar Gear 9 merchandise by going to jj9shop.com, and be sure to like and subscribe, as it really helps the channel out a lot. Join me every Wednesday night where we'll play NFL Trivia for cash prizes at 9 p.m. Eastern over on Twitch. To learn more about the history of college football, subscribe to Jaguar Gator 8. To learn more about the history of Major League Baseball, subscribe to Jaguar Gator 7. Also, special thanks to all of our Patreon supporters for helping out the channel. Your support is greatly appreciated. See how you can become a patron and request future video topics in the description below.